Welcome to part 2 of Skies of Arcadia Legends. Last time we robbed a ship and now we get to look at our booty. Check that booty out. We got dork armor too, so now we can be Katarina Knights.
People want it.
We get to see more of the crew as well. Mabel the Raider, you know her.
Apparently.
So we're kind of giving Fina a bit of a crash course on what it is to be a pirate, because she doesn't even really know what pirates are. Which is also unusual, because who doesn't know what pirates are? Loser.
Well, here you go, sweetie. Here's a gun and a sword. Go crazy.
Walks off the cliff. Oh, no.
She starts shooting the ground as she falls. Am I doing it?
So what's cool is that underneath their little home island, which just looks like a normal island, there's this huge pirate fortress with all sorts of things like a item shop, weapon shop. They can take there to repair the ship. Quarters, captain's quarters, everything is going to be in this underground facility. And there's quite a few reasons to come back here later, so a lot of cool stuff. But Dyne wants to speak to us. And he seems like a hard ass, so we better listen to him. Don't look at my chin again.
I don't want you to see what I did with the razor.
It's embarrassing. It's curly cute. So, you know how I kind of mentioned we need to hurry up and not be late? Let's look around and waste time.
Let's talk to Sweepy Joe.
Let's see how Sweepy Joe's doing. Let's just let him sweep by me because I want to walk and make sure it's clean. So these markers right here are your save markers you saw earlier. There's no really kind of standing autosave. It's old school gaming. You gotta find the save spots before you continue.
Saves pretty fast. I like that.
Oh yeah. GameCube games, you know, they're quicker than the consoles when it comes to that sort of thing. So there's a multi-layer little headquarters. And I like to explore each little spaces because we get little, again, we're giving Fina a little bit of a tour. This is the underground tavern where all the people can relax and drink. The thing is that they have, they drink something called loqua, which is kind of like wine made with moonstones, but it doesn't have alcohol in it, but they still treat it like it's booze. Loqua, it's great. Everything in this world revolves around the moons in some kind of fashion. The ships themselves run on generators from moonstones, which works as the fuel. Moonstones are basically just meteorites that fall from the sky from the moons. A lot of things in this society run on that system. In fact, the ship wouldn't even fly without it. I like that guy's name is Timus.
Timothy.
I put on my base face. I'd buckle that.
She looks over. Don't never say that ever again for as long as you're alive.
What did you say?
I just imagine a shirt with like Vice's face with like that. I'd tap that face, but say I'd buckle that. So she's embarrassed because she hasn't even heard of Loqua, and we're still like, what?
What's a pirate again?
What?
Shut up, Vice.
See, they make it out of moonstones. That sounds dangerous. We like to drink our fuel. What? We don't have time? I'm shocked. We don't have time. We gotta go talk to Dyne. Let's stand here and talk.
Fina's upset because someone tattooed her language's version of an L on her forehead.
Well, she ain't the sharpest tool in the shed.
Or do we? Then I could be captain.
I love how high up her face, her mouth is.
Gives her a little bit of extra chin.
Oh, they murdered that guy.
There's no guy in the armor.
Yeah, we call it Torso Steve.
I like to think there's still a guy in there, though.
They call me Steve, even though my name's Vince.
There's Flag Guy, Ben the Lookout. I like flags.
Ben the Lookout for my chin.
Dyne's like, hey! You hide that chin, mister.
Do you blink? No?
Look, I'm frustrated.
Alright.
I've seen some shit. Purple flags, blue flags. You get the picture.
All I'm saying, go away, Ben.
So, do you have seizures on Flag Day, or...?
Every day is Flag Day when you're Ben.
Never bring me to the United Nations.
Okay. Do we have nations?
So here's Kululu, the weaponsmith. He sells some basic weapon upgrades and armor upgrades if we want at this point to get it. It's worth it, because these will be the primary weapons we use in the upcoming dungeon. Nice thing is, as you equip them, you can change the color corresponding with them. It doesn't really have a huge effect beyond having the fight start in that color. And because I'm aware that Aika gets an affinity towards red magic, I don't have to have her equip red magic, because just having a Vice equip, it's going to give her a lot of points either way. The only reason I also catch fish, because you can use them as healing items, is just to sell them. Now, the interesting thing is, of course, different armors will have different effects. The ones you really want to pay attention to and who you give it to are the accessories, which are the ones that look a little bit like a ring with a red dot in the middle. If you read the descriptions of them, some of them will describe saying, this one increases their agility and their accuracy. If that's the case, it's probably a better equipment for Aika. If it's to increase things like strength and defense, it might be better off for Vice. But that's really kind of up to you how you handle that. I like to make edges sharper than they already are, myself. This is the item merchant. You can buy heal crystals from them. There's also healing crystals for, like, kind of like full heal sort of things, the curias. Magic droplets give us extra points in our MP if we start to run out. It's good to have a couple of those whenever you enter a dungeon, so you never know when you have to heal yourself with spells.
I like how leave is in quotes.
Get out. This is my store now.
You're asking her to leave. Oh, well.
You'll notice all of the women on this island do not have complete clothes.
Well, neither do the men. Look at that sleeve. Here's Sleepy McBoard. Look, he has no sleeves either. He has belt buckles. Vice just looks at him with a big thumbs up and just a gling.
Looking good, Matt.
Finally, after 15 minutes of wandering around, we made it to Dyne's office.
Also, the music in this area is bitchin'.
Oh yeah, the music in this game is fantastic.
Hey, Dad, did you know that we had a store?
Get out.
Alright.
Rather, did you know that I have a store?
Yep, we put a buckle on it.
Now we won't lose it in case of a crash.
Yep.
I'm poor.
Will you answer them for me? No. Well, meeting adjourned.
Yeah, to be fair, this is another situation where swashbuckling is going to come in key, because we could defend Fina or sit quietly and listen. Now, you'd think you'd want to defend her, but you want to sit quietly and listen. You want to ellipses at this point.
Being patient is cool.
See, this is nice because it doesn't take like the protagonist that gets in everyone's face as necessarily the right thing to do. You got to play things smart. You know, in this case, you trust your father. You don't have to be like, hey, don't do this. But and then Aika will do it for you, which makes it more hilarious. So they're saying if she doesn't admit to what she's doing, they could kill her because she could be a traitor. Girl.
I've known you guys for at least 10 minutes. Trust is not really a thing right now.
Well, in her particular mission, she doesn't want to tell us what's going on because I won't say anything else because it's like the whole game. And there's a picture of his wife in the background. How sweet.
The giant forehead lady?
Yes.
Oh.
Don't judge him.
I'm just saying. It's a bad picture.
Can't help it. Everyone else has bangs.
Fina doesn't have complete sleeves either.
So,
told you. I mean,
Thank you much.
So if you're trying to defend her, like...
Dyne basically tells you to shut up.
It's like, I'm gonna take away your sky skateboard for that.
Dad!
Yay!
So they let her kind of stay on the island because she seemed the trustworthy type, despite the fact she didn't tell us anything. And I keep on calling him Dad, which is great. Dad!
Yes, it is. It's Dad.
Stop calling me Dad now. You're come back for dinner.
Okay, Captain Dad.
Captain Dad.
I always talk to you with my arms crossed.
I can't cover my chin this time. I'm very angry. So he's at this point he's mentioning the swashbuckler rating. So at this point, if you're playing the game the first time, it's like, why are there all these negative sounds about what I'm saying? Well, I mean, like earlier, the one about like Fina gave her a name, and you could say, you know, that's a great name, which is the good one, or you could say that's a weird name, and then like Aika looks like you're awful with women. My God.
She still says that.
So here's the thing to kind of go ahead of time. You can move this bookshelf, which there's this little side quest in the game where the characters will tell you about this if you complete a certain side quest. I'm just doing it now because I know about it, which makes the side quest that I could go on completely pointless to find out. There's this one where you have to find this 3 kids and a dog in a game of hide and seek, which not interesting enough to do. So instead, I just did that, and it's just for gold.
That's it? Dad needed to be behind the bookcase?
Yeah, money, man. Money makes the world go around.
It's not a lot. I mean, I wouldn't have hidden it, but whatever.
But yeah, this particular section's music is one of my favorites. At least it's in my top 10. Each little area is going to have this really cool music going on with it. And some of it comes off as orchestral, a lot of it's synthesized, but it all feels unique.
Hey, son, you didn't rob me, did you?
That's cool what you said back there on the ship. I know, right?
That was cool what you said in the room. I heard this noise.
Look at his belt buckle. He uses it to hold up his pants.
I'm gonna be as cool as you one day.
Which is its expressed purpose of being a belt.
I'm using it for the right way.
So I ever hear anything about that hip swaying disease me and Aika have?
This is the music of the outside the island area. It's a little more friendly. I like this music a lot too.
It sounds more whimsical.
It's friendlier. So we get to explore a little bit of this area. This has a lot of little tutorial things and a lot of items you can miss if you don't look around. The first thing you want to do, and it's another thing someone tells you about, but you could just do it yourself. It's behind here, there's this tablet in the wall. And if you notice, it looks like a hidden door. That's because it is a hidden door.
Oh, the music stopped.
Because we're back inside the...
You're in the bookcase again? Yep. Son, what are you doing here?
See, now we get another moonberry, so more special attacks, buddy. This point, I shouldn't have this many special attacks. This one only cost 1. The later ones will cost more moonberries, obviously, and we'll get to the point using that.
Moonberry Monk Delight.
Counter-Strike. Not often enough do you have Vice go into a defensive stance. So using the Counter-Strike or Counter-Strike one's the only one you want to use if he's defending. Because no matter what, he'll hit back. That one I gave Aika is one of the most important special abilities in the entire game. It's known as Delta Shield. As I mentioned, there are magics in this game that can kill you because it's just murder. It's called like Attorney or Eternum and different ones like that. What Delta Shield does is it puts a shield around all of your characters that blocks all magic spells from hitting you. In turn, though, it also keeps you from casting spells on yourself, so you can't use spells to heal yourself during that turn. It's worth it, though, because it keeps you from being murdered. So I'm just going around these areas and collecting little items like healing items. Here's all the kids that want to play hide and seek with me. There's only one worth talking to, and it's not the dog, although he's cute.
Aww.
Pow, pow, pow.
Hey, pal. Bang, bang! Pow, pow. So, Aika's not with us right now. She said she needed to freshen up at her house. She lives in her old parents' house. Obviously, they're gone. But she lives in her own house now. But she used to live with Vice and his family. The one you want to talk to in this situation is the kid in green. This one tries to challenge you to a game of hide and seek. It's not a hard thing, but at this point, completing the game of hide and seek tells you about the, hey, if you go behind the bookshelf, there's something cool back there.
The kid in the back does not get the idea of the twist.
The little kid you just talked to looks like a smaller version of the guy who thinks you're cool.
It probably is related. Talking to this guy gives you another opportunity to increase your swashbuckler rating, so do it. You could tell him that you can't be a sailor. Sorry, you suck. And then now, this one you kind of find out that Vice used to get airsick, and is I'll throw up however many times it takes until I become a sailor. Is an interesting quote.
Yeah. I'll throw up and it turns me into a sailor,
including right now. So here's a little thing that's just like, what? Why is there a thing on the wall? Listen to this music. This turns into creeper music here in a minute. What handkerchief?
Vice.
Must be treasure.
Vice, you shouldn't. Oh god, Vice.
It's a type of treasure.
Also, you notice her hair's straight, despite what she does with it with the whole giant pigtail thing.
Oh my god, that is the hottest plant I've ever seen.
This is totally unnecessary, but it's just for fun.
Okay. My glass eye, shit!
Now I need another buckle glass.
Gets a big smile.
I just wanted to check on the plant.
I just wanted to see what was underneath the handkerchief. That is a good point. Why would you put a handkerchief there? It's just gonna draw attention. So anyway, back to the game.
Let me go to ruin a child's dream. No, you'll never be a sailor. What are you, stupid? You hear an orchestra. Da, 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 da.
Just flip them off. Not enough buckles, kid. So here's a little training dojo where we can learn little strategies on how to handle combat if I didn't explain to you. So you can learn about pretty much everything you need to know at this point. I already know about it, so it doesn't matter.
I thought I was gonna teach you hand-to-hand combat, but I was gonna point out his name. He's the gunner. You shoot stuff.
This guy's also a gunner, though. Just a little bit about the difference between weapons, combat tactics. I know all the little combat tactics sorts of things.
I like that when you choose one of the options, Vice doesn't just say what's written there, but kind of expands it into actual conversation.
Yeah, I like it because it keeps keeps Vice from being just a character avatar, and makes him a character, which makes him immensely more interesting.
He's still a dork.
Oh yeah, he's a huge dork, but that's what you have to like about him. It's worth going up here. I mean, we're gonna go up here later in the game, but there's a chest up here worth picking up some items. Right there.
You didn't see that.
Oh, did you steal my magic droplet, goddammit?
Pirates.
Oh, those pirates always robbing me.
I feel like pirates just steal from each other. So, the quickest save ever. You'll hear this a lot, this sound. I love it. You hear it so many times, it keeps a great sound there. It's nostalgic for me. Shut up. So this is my house. This is my house now. So here's giant forehead, Mom.
Okay, it doesn't look too bad, you know, in person.
And from a downward angle.
Like I said, bad picture.
We're letting Fina stay here at least overnight until we can figure out accommodations for her to either stay or leave or whatever she needs to do for her mission. She lost her ship, if you didn't notice. It sank to below the clouds. Now here comes Ika all pissed off. But now they act like we didn't actually see the little side mission thing, because that's not required. So she's just like, hey, I was just fixing my hair.
Why would you tie your hair up into handlebars? That seems like counterproductive when you're fighting people.
To look unique.
It's not for fighting people.
It's for looking spunky, which she is. So one other place we haven't been to yet, because it's for this purpose, is up at the very top, tippity-top island observatory thing they have.
Man, when they invent stairs, this is gonna be great. Okay, you have to build the ladder so fucking long.
Yeah.
Who built
I
it?
live my life not for honor.
Man, if only we had the ability to levitate things up in the air.
If only we had a ship.
The most inefficient system.
I was kind of hoping like the sun would like rise as he was climbing.
And descend and rise and descend again.
Like 3 days go by.
Like, I'm like 5,000 feet above the ground now.
So you guys wanna? It's so beautiful. Oh my god.
This is Fina's theme. Each character's music is a little bit different. Fina's tends to have a little bit more of this slight bittersweet melancholy piano for all of her music.
This is why Vice needs open sleeves, because he sweats so much.
So we learn a little bit in this case about Vice's motivations. He's very much, he does kind of have that Luffy mentality that he wants to explore the world and go places where no one's gone before. His whole way of putting that is that I want to go in the sky beyond the sky. And Ika basically just like, I'll go wherever you want to go because I think you're super cool.
You said 2 cool things today, so it was pretty cool.
That is part 3.
You know, I just realized I forgot my handkerchief. Vice, can you get it for me? Oh shit.
He just falls off the ladder all the way I'll get it. So, this is how energy happens. This is falling moonstones. Oh, and the reason he has an eyeglass is he can actually zoom with his eyeglass.
Oh.
He uses it as a periscope.
That's pretty cool.
Or telescope, or however you want to put it, whatever.
Even though there's clearly only one lens on it.
Yeah. Later in the game, it actually gets a couple other uses. But yeah, at least they made it a use opposed to like, look at the fashion. Now, Ika's goggles, no point. But yeah.
When it's windy, she puts it on her eyes. It doesn't, you know.
So, Fina, do you like my chest face?
What's a chest face?
It's the necklace, it's chest face.
What's a necklace?
Basically, that is Fina right now.
I know little things.
I know it seems like this is for Dinner's ready, just to all 3 of them fall down. We're coming!
Okay, we just assumed you said dinner was ready. We can't really hear you up here.
So we decided that tomorrow morning we're going to go to that island that got hit by the moonstone and try to collect the moonstone because they're valuable, we can use them as fuel, etc.
Okay, one at a time, you guys.
All right, plan for the next 3 hours. That's how long it's going to take to go down there. I like Fina. Fina can sometimes come off to certain people as a generic character, but I really like her character. It's just different than everyone else. And she has a legit reason. Here's the sleeping music.
He just fell asleep in his food.
I was thinking they fell asleep on the ladder.
They're just all hanging like monkeys all over the wall. Where's the cuckoo? I don't know.
Yeah, that's the exact same sound effect.
It popped out of the chimney.
So does Vice.
Are you sore from falling over 100 feet off that ladder? I know I am.
Are you sore for not ever standing in proper posture?
Nobody does!
I do.
No.
Look at me.
That'd be great if I had a roof.
So before you leave, go talk to your dad. And just talk to everyone at this point. At least in your house. So, because she gives you some healing items.
While shuffling cards.
Here's a sandwich, and here's a sandwich, and here's a sandwich, and there's a sandwich.
Here's a boiled egg, here's a tomato, here's some bread. Alright, go make another sandwich yourself. Here's another sandwich.
Mom, patty cake requires 2 hands.
So just talk to Fina, and she's like, "Oh, thank you for saving my life and everything. I'd go with you, but I'm not a party character yet." So then talk to your dad's probably the most important one, because he gives you another colored moonstone to use with your weapons. You get a purple moonstone. So now your weapons will have an ice element to them as well. That's going to be more useful for damaging certain enemies, but also ice-related spells, of course, have freezing ones, but they also have a lot of abilities that do things like slow other characters down. So, pretty useful. Honestly, to me, not as useful as green and red, but still a good one. And now he's mentioning the whole, if you stick with a certain color, you'll be able to learn spells faster, blah, 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 blah. What I like about that particular system is that no one person has to play the game the same way. They can have different characters focusing on different kind of magical abilities. They can make them all-around characters. They can make them strictly red and green spellcasters, whatever they want.
So you mentioned earlier, if, say, Vice had the green stone and I had the red stone, they would both get experience. If they both had the same color stone, would that magic type get more experience? Or is it the same no matter what?
They would get double experience focused on the single color.
Okay. Is it generally better to keep it even?
It depends on if... because you can always measure the gauge of how much it takes experience-wise to get to a certain spell level. So, if you really want to, say, get Aika up on her green spells really quickly, especially since you can have up to 4 party members, I might have 2 of them with green, and then the other ones in other various colors that they need to learn. But there's certain ways you can take advantage of that.
I don't need your permission.
See if I can...
Yoink, pirate!
I stole again, my boy.
Nepotism.
Babel steal from me all the time.
So I'm gonna take this little baby ship over to what they call Shrine Island. Or basically the first dungeon. Those are stone reefs over there. We'll be dealing with more of that stuff later. Ah, shit. See, I've been skipping some of the fights just because they're fights. You've seen them before. Unless they're unique fights, I'll keep those ones in. How you doing, merchant ship?
I thought I legitimately crashed for a second, but it was just you.
Gotcha. Holy hell.
Let's go through the asteroid field.
As I mentioned, different areas of this world, I don't know, maybe I didn't mention this full detail, but over this entire world are multiple colored moons. Depending on where you are on the planet, there's a different corresponding color moon under it. We are under the silver moon. That's why the moon appeared silver and normal. We're close to the nation of Nazir, which is a red moon. Red's the element of fire, so of course their land is desert-like, because the fire affects their climate. The Valuans are under the yellow moon, which is the power of electricity, which we'll see effects of that later. But anyway, on Shrine Island, we can see where the moonstone went through right there. Big-ass stone.
Maybe we could use that ship we flew over in here to get there quicker?
They just crashed through the hole. Got it.
Man, if only ships could float.
Over liquid in some way.
If only I had some kind of leather strap to be able to pick up said stone.
Vice, I'm only gonna say this once.
Crack.
That is, without a doubt, the best idea ever.
I know I put a blue belt on you, and then awesome.
Look, man, you got me hooked on belts. I can't not do it now.
Figuratively and literally? Yeah, I can't take it off.
Shrine is landing? Is that what it said?
Not Shrine is landing.
We are falling to our deaths right now.
This is actually the last level of the game.
I'm pretty sure this was Shrine Island, but I just read it as that.
It's read as fail.
I had to make sure because it called Vice like the unimpressive a while ago. So.
I like again, another one when I like the music. I like the music in this temple. There's the Moonstone. Now, it seems obvious. We could just dive underwater and get it, but Ica can't swim, so we can't do that.
But Vice can swim.
It's too heavy for him to get out of the water. It's huge.
Oh my god.
The music just kind of sounds like, I know it sounds like I don't know what I'm playing.
So this is where another swashbuckler moment. We need to drain the water. If we said, let's swim, Ica would be like, you hate me, don't you? You can be a dick through this game. If it didn't have a major gameplay effect, I would do it. But it does have an effect on the game.
It just goes wah wah, and he shrugs at the camera.
Makes that gooby face. So we need to, as you can see, we're kind of explaining. We need to get lower into the temple and open the doors from the outside, flood the water out of the room to be able to get to the bottom chasm.
While there's water flowing into the room.
Right. Right.
Does anyone else see the flaw here, or is that just me?
Sky science, man. It's
Boats fly, they don't float, you know.
stupid.
Vice, there's this cool thing called a fishing rod you could try. Or a net.
Vice does kind of look like one of the protagonists from Harvest Moon.
See, I love how they snuck up behind us to attack us and they're just running away.
They'll never know we were cowards. Damn it, they do!
Well, was there someone behind us the whole time?
I don't know, but let's just cheer.
Spontaneously, you'll get in situations where the attack that's coming, you're gonna either be behind them or they're gonna be behind you. Also, if you manage to fight and defeat a looper, the background of your victory screen changes to a bunch of loopers. So like right now, I see like an arm, a sword, and a boomerang. If you have loopers, there's like a bunch of loopers in the background.
Oh, I see. I thought they literally just appeared behind Vice.
I had the feeling that loopers were going to be like some kind of cute stuffed animal they were going to make if this game had a sequel.
Might as well have been.
Oh, Dreamcast.
Yep. Go around this corner, get some more sect crystals, and then we're going to tap on this little crystal here to give this temple some power.
Way to go, Vice. Now there's more water.
So this fixes the whole issue you just described.
By flooding the entire thing.
No, here's the weird part. Keep in mind, it did sink, but we're in the sky. There's a bottom to this island. So actually, it didn't just sink, it went below the island level. So it's no longer in water.
Huh.
So now the power's in here. As you pass these little flames, they start up as we walk by. This is a good area to level grind as well, which I do to full effect, of course. Just skipped it because how fun to watch that.
That animation is trippy as balls.
Oh yeah, you gotta get used to that. So here's switching between the different skills here. Those snake guys are a pain in the ass. It's like, no. The enemies look pretty unique in this game too, that's what I like.
Does remind me a little of Phantasy Star Online.
Oh, Phantasy Star, I believe, was a Sega game, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think so.
So possibly some relation.
There's probably a few references in here to it, too.
So I got both a Maraca shell and a Curia crystal, so I got something that I can equip that can increase my defense. You can actually have a first-person view, which is pretty nice. Becomes more useful a little later in the game. So if you notice, I have a goggle on that increases my hit percent. If I equip the Maraca shell, I can increase my defense, which sounds a little better.
But if I put a shell over my eyeball...
Forgets to put the Belk on, it falls off, and he just starts crying.
In that one eye.
Yep. It just floods into the goggle. See, now that we lowered it, we're actually going to be going outside the island from the bottom. And there's some new enemies out here, too. That's why I'm showing this fight, because we get a new big fish thing. Hi, big fish thing.
Oh.
Whoa.
He looks intimidating, but he's not that tough. He does cast some blue spells, which we haven't gotten a blue stone yet. Blue spells do a combination of different things. They can increase speed, but primarily they can put you to sleep. See, enemies can cast the same spells you do. That's the other part of the blue spell. It's like a wind damage. Poke.
Okay, if that was a wind spell, he should have fell off the thing then, shouldn't he?
It's sky logic, man. Leave it alone.
Okay.
If you notice, because we're leveling up and getting a little bit stronger, I actually have more points to utilize in the moon point counter. Because before, at the very beginning of the game, it was 8, now it's 10. Which is a lot more useful because it means we can do more moves.
About how frequently does that number go up? Like, per what amount of levels?
It's gonna be pretty slow if you only have 2 players, but the more characters you get, the bigger the bar is. So once you get like a full party, it's a pretty big bar. I got enough for Cutlass Fury. Let's murder this bastard.
So you're like level 6 right now. Do you say you, like, do you get another point for every, say, 5 levels?
Something like that. It's a pretty slow progress. Cutlass Fury, or the murder of all things, is a great attack.
That was fun.
You didn't do anything.
And you kind of faced the wrong way for half the fight.
I didn't know. But the cool thing is she uses a boomerang as a sword, so she can either throw it or hit it with like a sword.
Whoa!
Just let me walk.
Enemies on the stairs.
I always get really fascinated by games with areas that are supposedly at one point inhabited by this ancient civilization that's just now gone, but like the technology is so far ahead of what you have right now.
We get to also learn a considerable amount more about this way later in the game.
And that was the end of Vice. No.
But yeah, this is, as I mentioned, there was civilizations that applied to kind of each of the moon's corresponding colors. I mentioned one called Nasser, which was the red one. But there's no Silver Society from what we can find, because it's just a kind of a small group of islands and this shrine. So we don't know exactly at this point what happened to the Silver Civilization. We met the Yellow Civilization, that's Valua. There's also a Purple Civilization, a blue one, and the green one. I can't do anything. I only got 1 moonberry, so whoops. And she can't learn anything either, so we're gonna save it.
Aw.
It's not too bad of a deal. Just means we could probably use it a little bit later if we get another one, or we could save it for another character we might get later.
Did you play this game on the original Dreamcast?
I did not. I don't remember where I first found it, but I did when I had my original GameCube. I was kind of going. I think I played Tales of Symphonia first. I was like, oh man, this was a really fun RPG, and then I love this one so much more.
Because I do know one of the other things that they changed for Legends was the encounter rate was much smaller.
Yes, I mean, that was a big issue apparently with the original. And honestly, people still complained about this game too, because you can tell it can be rather spontaneous.
That wasn't so bad.
It's an old, antiquated style of running into enemies, but I don't necessarily mind it. It's just sometimes it can get a little tedious to have to fight enemies that matter. Ooh, I got a moonberry. I've been super lucky with moonberries in this playthrough. It's great. So I could probably teach either Vice or Ica their attack. This one summons down one called Rain of Swords, which is an area attack that Vice can do. It's very expensive, though. Ica's is a little bit cheaper, so I like hers a little bit better at this point. As I mentioned, Ica's better at kind of wiping out a bunch of enemies at once. Lambda Burst. Her attack names are interesting because every single one of them is a, if you notice, it's like Alpha, Delta, Lambda. It's all that Greek alphabet for her attacks.
Beta.
I think
Omega.
Yeah, I think her last attack's Omega.
3 fatty acid.
Yummy fish. That should just be the attack that Vice has. Omega Blaster! Lucky fish!
He just starts swimming through air at the enemy.
Just flopping on the ground.
This spell tells me I'm gonna have a great day, and that's it.
Just nods enthusiastically.
Enemies are like, yeah, he's gonna have a great day. Dies.
After punching him. I just imagine a smiling face like a fist in his cheek. God damn it, Vice, you're just so damn positive.
It's my lucky fish. He's too positive.
Lucky fish is dead at this point. He hasn't been in water in years.
You hear the positive chime. That was a cool thing you said, even though it involved fish.
Huh, a giant door that has a save next to it? We must be coming up on the boss. So, I always recommend at least getting all healed up so you don't have to worry about it in the fight. Because again, we need all the moon points focused where they need to go here.
Because it's only a save, it's not a heal.
Right.
Okay, so the is stood for island. Okay, alright.
Shrine is walkway.
I didn't see the period, so I thought it was is.
See, if I didn't move out of the way in time, I would be dead.
Oh, what the hell? Whee!
Ah, lucky fish.
Like the very last thing you hear.
Holy spaghetti, that's a big stone. Yeah, I know, they never thought, how are we gonna get out of here?
Because the ship's up there. Oh, because I'm about to say, you just took like 3 steps.
Ah, my toe. Whoop. Looks like we're gonna have to fight the sentry golem first. So again, if you don't take at this point to level up enough, this guy can be a pretty tough fight, but the strategy is very similar as it was when we fought Antonio. We want to focus on having Vice be the main hitter of this and have Icon support. But the attack pattern of the sentry is a little bit different. He has a super powerful special attack, but to do it, he's required to do this target search mode first. So it's a good fair warning before he does this huge special attack. So before that happens, you want all the characters to block because this does a shit ton of damage. But sometimes he fools you and just whacks you.
I was going to ask, if he does target search, it's a guarantee he's going to do the attack.
Usually it is, like 90% of the time. See, I blocked him because I wasn't sure. So he's just going to do another target search, so I'm going to block the next turn.
I was kind of hoping the sentry would be named Rodolfo or something.
There's a character named Ramirez. There's another character,
Gutierrez.
That's probably as a Gutierrez. See, that attack hits a bunch of people and it does a lot of damage if you don't block. It will ruin your face if you don't block.
Good thing I had my goggle.
It just bounces off and hits him back. Bring. So nice thing is I have enough to cast Ankrum. Big thing is to also make sure to keep Ica healthy because she's going to be the primary healer and support character here. And obviously she can't take as many hits as Vice can. It's worth it casting the Ankrum because you do like 200 to 300 points more damage per hit with that on, and that can really mean the difference.
How long does that buff last?
The entire match, unless they do a debuff.
Oh, nice.
So it's a really efficient ability.
So you don't need to, like, buff yourself and then have him do target search. It's like, shit, I gotta dodge, and then you lose it.
Right. Now, the trade-off is there's a number of characters that do also have debuff abilities, which can make that a little tough. And also keep in mind, these characters have the same spell set you do, so they can cast things like Ankrum on themselves as well. Okay, I didn't do as much damage to him as I did to Antonio, so this might be a little bit longer of a fight.
Try this.
Well, he technically did more damage, it's just he's got a lot more health.
Right.
Also, he's made of rock.
Luckily, his attack string becomes somewhat predictable, so easy to predict what he's going to be doing next here. But you can see, like, it's really catching up damage even while blocking. That thing hits hard. But the only attacks he really has is Target Search, the Blaster, and that little punch move he has. So he's a pretty simple boss.
How much would it do if you weren't blocking?
With probably Ica, she would only have like a sliver left, and Vice would have maybe 1/4 of his health left from one hit.
Jeez.
This is Lambda Burst. It's awesome looking, but it doesn't. You can see it doesn't do nearly as much damage as Cullis Fury, because it's more of a mass field hit, so it's better for fighting multiple enemies.
The explosion doesn't do nearly as much damage as the sword.
Hey, Vice is badass. I mean, he counters here. Look. See how his health is much lower than mine, so the happy music kicks in.
Oh, nice.
Can the music revert back to, like, if you start losing again, does it just go back to, okay, shitty, go?
Yeah, well, if you're in a happy position like this, and it switches to a super bad situation, which can happen, it's very dramatic. At this point, I really just need Ica to stay alive, focus, and block. She doesn't need to be doing any attacking.
See, he's still attacking with the defensive cutlass that he holds at a weird angle. I still don't get it.
Well, he uses it to defend and attack. He holds it kind of a little bit like a Tonfa. But you also notice that he's starting to kind of show that wear and tear wiggle. They can counterattack too, so.
Yeah.
And he does it again. Punch.
Bop.
It does that bang, which is pretty funny.
Alright, this fight's over.
See, the reason you don't want to attack with someone like Ica is because she can do a little bit of damage here, but you don't want to waste a lot of your moon points just in case things go wrong. So, you know, even if Cullis Fury goes off, the enemy still might attack you and almost kill you, and then you'll need Ica to heal you.
That was fun.
Gave me a nice amount of gold, and got me some more points, and another Moonberry!
You're just rolling in it.
Yeah, it's good. I need them. All of them.
They're supposed to be rare, right?
They are. I'm extreme. Well, usually, here's the thing. He always drops a Moonberry after beating him because usually they're a boss drop.
Oh, okay.
So that way it keeps you from just learning all your spells at the beginning. But I'm lucking out because you also get them during random fights. I just keep on getting them. Luckily, the later moves cost a lot more Moonberries.
By the time you get to Dungeon 2, you already have all of them for both.
Radiation.
So how are we gonna lift it? Oh, okay.
That's their super high five flurry.
They have their own little handshake, that's cool.
That's how they lifted static electricity.
All right, back onto I'm Flagman, and this is my flag move. I imagine with like a Patrick Warburton voice. Yeah, I'm gonna stretch here. A busy day of flagging is going to occur.
Why did I climb up here?
Don't say anything racist.
It took half the day to reach this place.
Did his crotch jiggle?
Oh, balls.
Exactly.
Oh, please tell me it's my favorite character.
Antonio too?
Yes.
I heard that from all the way down here. Go run in circles, don't hide. Oh no.
We missed. Oh.
Not our wall.
Back with Vice? Oh man, I sure hope everybody's still alive when we get back there. It's gonna be rad.
Hail Hitler. Oh.
Not that Hitler.
Not that Hitler.
You know who I haven't hugged in a while? My mom.
Oh, it's Galcian's flagship. We're gonna meet the main leader of the entire Valuan military. That's Galcian. He is a badass amongst badasses, but he's our main antagonist.
Darth Cloak.
And he dresses very sillily.
He's a badass, though. And the guy behind him is Ramirez. He's a badass, too.
I want there to be a Commander Felipe.
You just want to Commander Romulus. Or they name a ship the Romulus.
I just want everybody to be captain. Just everybody. That's the rank they're only allowed. Captain. Everybody's captain.
Well, these guys are, I think Ramirez is a captain. Galcian is basically Lord Admiral.
Fleet Admiral?
Yeah, Fleet Admiral. He's the main head honcho of the military.
High Lord motherfucker.
Basically. And he acts that way, too. But yeah, where things are starting to get rough, and Ike and Ike, what am I saying? Ike, Vice and Ica are not aware of the transgressions that are happening in their home, but they will find out next time, and the adventure of those two will truly begin.
They didn't realize that by being protagonists of JRPGs, they were going to lose their home.
They didn't realize by taking a very important person with them that something bad was going to happen.
You know who I love the most, Ica? My dad.
No, you don't, you liar.
Yeah, you're right. I hate him. He's a jerk. It just felt right to say it.
I don't know why. I just had this sinking feeling.
Like, you know how I say cool things and people around me know? Well, he says douchey things and I feel it.
I feel like every time I say lucky fish, he's judging me from a distance.
I just see his face in the fish.
He just looks up with his goggle and just off like in miles to the distance sees Dyne just looking at him angry, just son. Captain Dad.
I told you not to go. Fuck. Captain Dad, okay, yeah.
Dadkin?
That's what I am.
Cap Dad.
Batman.
No, Cap Dad.
You did have a bookcase. I was expecting a pole for you to slide through.
I feel like that when they were blowing up that island, they're like, oh no, they blew up that impossibly large set of stairs. Oh, thank God.
It's too much work.
Yes, in this next one, we get to introduce one of my favorite characters. And anyone who plays the game will be like, oh, yay.
Well, I'll just assume that it's Antonio the Third.
Captain Antonio the Third.
Captain Antonio
And it's just literally one of those bowls with the captain hat on in front of the ship. I just imagine one of the admirals is there like, I'm going to teach him. I'm going to teach him to pilot.
A very determined look on his face.
Yeah.
I sense great potential in Antonio the Third.
All right, Antonio the Third. Turn left. Just shoots the wheel with a lightning bolt. Fuck. That's another ship wasted and we're crashing. Oh, God.
Sir, if I become a captain, then I'm Captain Crunch.
Over.
Over.
Didn't that guy become Admiral last week?
And we let that rich kid become a admiral, and he lost. Let's just make the lightning bolt.
Alright, Antonio, we're pairing you up with Crunch.
They play that evil Armada music, and it just cuts to him in this dramatic shot, and he's just like, moo. Just blank expression.
Well, he hit the left side of the wheel. I guess we can count that.
It's a high C. C+.
Admiral material.
C for captain, clearly.